Last time on The Good, the Scum, and the Villainy, our four heroes were using a medical clinic and warehouse on Ryloth to help Bargos the Hutt smuggle spice. Trex, one of Bargos' lackeys, came to the clinic and told them that they were to expand their operation to include slave trafficking. When they refused, Trex took the four of them and all the spice back to Bargos. After coming out of hyperspace, in orbit around Tatooine, the ship was taken over and boarded. The pirates took all the spice while disabling the ship's hyperdrive. Gal suspected it was an inside job and Trex was setting them up. They landed in a spaceport in Mos Shuuta, home of Bargos. Trex handed them over to 4 Gamorrean guards. While being led to the palace, the crew made a break for freedom. Racing through the sand-swept streets of Mos Shuuta, they ducked into a cantina and lost the pursuing Gamorreans. Once the guards left, they headed back to the spaceport. After a small scuffle with 2 other guards, the crew saw Trex leave the spaceport. They made their way in through a window, only to face 2 mechanics working on Trex's ship within the spaceport itself. Last time on The Good, the Scum, and the Villainy, our 4 heroes were using a medical clinic and warehouse on Ryloth to help Bargos the Hutt smuggle spice. Trex, one of Bargos' lackeys, came to the clinic and told them that they were to expand their operation to include slave trafficking. When they refused, Trex took the 4 of them and all the spice back to Bargos. After coming out of hyperspace, in orbit around Tatooine, the ship was taken over and boarded. The pirates took all the spice while disabling the ship's hyperdrive. Gal suspected it was an inside job and Trex was setting them up. They landed in a spaceport in Mos Shuuta, home of Bargos. Trex handed them over to 4 Gamorrean guards. While being led to the palace, the crew made a break for freedom. Racing through the sand-swept streets of Mos Shuuta, they ducked into a cantina and lost the pursuing Gamorreans. Once the guards left, they headed back to the spaceport. After a small scuffle with 2 other guards, the crew saw Trex leave the spaceport. They made their way in through a window, only to face 2 mechanics working on Trex's ship within the spaceport itself. Alrighty, folks. Welcome to session 2. We've got the cast is back. Let's do some quick introductions, and then we'll do some bookkeeping. So, Joe, I want to hear a little bit about Zaish.
Yeah, I'm Joe. I play Zaish Haran, Dr. Zaish Haran. He is a Rhodian, has a generally nervous disposition, and last session got into actual fight for the first time ever. So that's neat to know about a character within a criminal underworld game.
And Cody, can you tell me about Dash?
Yeah, Dash is a driver, handy with a blaster, good at piloting, that's to be determined, and yeah, fell in with
probably
the
better
wrong
than
crowd
any of us.
Yeah, hopefully better.
All right, and I want to hear about DZ. Tell me about B5TR.
Yeah, B5 is a combat robot or a combat training robot. However, he appears to not like violence all that much from what we've seen. He was very sad about a Gamorrean casualty in our last fight. But he's got some tricks up his sleeve and some apparent memory problems from a past that he's reticent to share some details about.
Excellent. Speaking of mystery men, let's talk about Gal, Doug.
Right. My name is Doug. I play Gal Lucia. He is both the face and the silver tongue of the crew. He's a smuggler, so he's the guy with actual experience in the seedy underworld that we found ourselves in. And he doesn't really care about violence either way. I mean, if it dies, it dies. But he's definitely taken upon himself to be the party leader, regardless of whether or not people want him to be.
Excellent. Now, I know some people watching did not catch our session 1, so that, of course, is in the YouTube archive, and you guys are welcome to catch that, and I'll bring everybody else up to speed. But even those of you that did see session 1, the recording died about 30 minutes before we finished. So in the last 30 minutes, these 4 were able to get out of the cantina on Mos Shuuta, ran to go to the spaceport, which contained the ship that brought them here. They waited for Trex, the Transdoshan, who brought them to Mos Shuuta, to leave, and ran into a group of Gamorrean guards and had their first combat encounter, which was a very funny one. And I hate that we didn't record it because there was more than a few funny moments during that. But they survived. They then climbed into the spaceport through a window, and that's where we're going to get things started. So let's kind of set the scene. You guys fitted yourself in through the window. And the window, though it's street level, once you looked into the window and looked down below you, you realize that the spaceport itself is about 20 feet underground. Like most of the buildings in Mos Shuuta, because of the desert, they build down, right? When you went into the cantina, you went down several flights of steps to get down there. So, Gal, you led. You went in there first and headed down and kind of helped everybody else get through. And as you went... worked your way down, you got through a series of crates that had been piled up, luckily, under the window for you. All 4 of you finally got ground level and a bit of an alcove to the main spaceport where you could see the huge ship that Trex brought you over, and it was a VCX. For those of you that have ever seen Rebels, that's what the Ghost is a VCX. You see the VCX there in the spaceport, and the spaceport itself, of course, has nothing above it. It's open to the skies of Tatooine above. And it was a bit of a kind of a Scooby-Doo moment where your feet landed on the sandy floor of the spaceport, and you looked over and met eyes with 2 gentlemen in orange jumpsuits who are working on the VCX. Both of you have locked eyes. Everybody is on the ground. You see them and they see you. What happens next?
Okay, Gal is going to speak up, very confident, and be like, "Hello, gentlemen. Who locked the front door?"
They kind of freeze. One guy looks at the other guy. They're not exactly sure what to do. The one guy has a cart in front of him, and he pushes the cart towards you, and they both start running in the other direction.
Whoops.
B5 is going to take off or chase them as soon as he processes what happened.
Okay, so they take off. They push the cart towards you. Let's do our first roll. Actually, before we get started, we should do a destiny pool. So if you guys can go to your sheet on roll 20. I have got the pool currently cleared. So we've got 0 light, 0 dark. And you just go to roll destiny, and let's see how we do. So Dash gives me a dark side point. Zaish gives you 2 light. B5 gives me a dark, and good old Gal gives me a dark. So the pool is going to be 2 light side, 3 dark side. So B5, you see them turn and run, and to give you an idea, kind of orientation on the map, you guys are here. As you came down through the alcove from the outside, they are headed in this direction, towards the front door. The cart is running towards you. Let's do a quick coordination or an agility check. I will set the difficulty to easy.
And I am ready for the roll when you are.
Craig froze.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Make sure the stream survives.
Okay, am I back?
We lost you for a second there, Craig.
Yeah.
All right. So the cart gets pushed towards you, B5. Let's do a quick agility check.
Okay. Do we still have the stream? Because last time that happened, the stream went out.
Well, I'll double check it real quick.
I will pull up agility.
Gotta text, see if it's Roman.
Agility check? I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Where are...
It should be a coordination. I think it's the...
Yep.
This is an easy difficulty, so just one purple die. Which I've already got it set on my side.
Stats, character, career, description. Looking for my skills on here.
So if you go to your...
I have my character sheet.
Yep. Click on the character sheet tab.
Oh, skills, okay.
Got it?
Coordination.
All right, so 1 success and 1 threat. So the cart comes towards you, B5. What happens?
I might step on the cart to jump over it, and I managed to do that, but I pushed the cart in a direction that's not ideal. Like I push it towards the rest of the group, maybe.
I like that idea, actually. Where you do this heroic leap up onto the cart. Right, it's very cinematic. Your foot lands on one part of the cart. You push it behind you, and it goes right into the other 3.
Point landing right at the end.
So you are now headed and closing the distance fast. These guys are not nearly as fast as you are. Once you get within reaching distance, what's the plan?
Probably just grab them both by the scruffs of the neck if I can.
All right, you grab them. So you've got them both by the scruff.
Okay.
They immediately have stopped, and they're just standing with their back to you.
Halt for detention.
I'll turn around with them, like still holding them both, and just turn them to face the group.
Continue conversation.
All right, so you guys now have the cart in front of you, but you now do see B5 there holding both of our mechanics.
Dash is gonna kind of stroll up leisurely to the door of the spaceship. Is it open or closed?
So the cargo ramp is down.
And he's just gonna look at the group and say, "Are we staying? Do you want to check this out?"
It might be worth finding out whether they have actually fixed the problem. Or easier exit. Have you fixed the problem?
Well, we don't know what the problem is yet. We were just gonna check it for fuel.
Dash, tell him what the problem is.
I'm gonna head into the hyperdrive.
Okay, he's going.
Because he remembers seeing the Black Suns mess with the hyperdrive and try and inspect that.
So Dash, you head up the ramp and you go to the section where you saw where the Black Sun were messing with it. It's going to be a average mechanics roll. Let me set the difficulty for you.
Yep.
I'm ready when you are.
All right.
All right, 2 successes. So you pull down the panel. You're taking a look at it, and let me think of a really good technical term. The hyperdrive regulator thermal measurer is missing, which means that there's no way that this thing would be able to go into be able to jump. And you can tell it's literally been torn out.
I will spin around and... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, size-wise, it's like a large softball. That's what's missing.
I'm gonna spin around and go back and poke my head out the cargo door and say, "Yep, the hyperdrive thermal
Regulator. Come on.
regulator is missing. This one's landed.
So the camera cuts back to B5 holding the two mechanics. What are we doing, B5?
I would just pick one of them at random and turn them to face me.
I require repairs.
And I indicate the giant axe wound in my chest.
Okay. My tools are over there, and the guy points over to kind of a storage shed that's up against the wall.
All right, I'll start going in that direction. I might like shove the other one towards, let's say towards our good doctor, as if he can keep him detained while I go over to the repair shed.
So we see B5 like leading himself over to this shed, and the mechanic you've got in your hands, B5, he's like barely touching the ground. So you haven't completely lifted him off, and his toes are kind of scraping, trying to walk as you go, and you head in that direction. Now, of course, Zaish now has a mechanic thrown at him.
Watch him.
That I can do. And like addressing the mechanic, I'll say, this has been a long day. Do you like some tea?
Space tea? I'd love some.
Okay, that is a thing we can do. Stay within Eyeland because I need to keep an eye on you for unknowable reasons because you're just here doing your job. But that's fine. So Zaish pulls out from his from his little messenger bag like a full-on like camping stove and then a kettle.
I was wondering.
He has like 3 cups, and yeah, we just start brewing tea.
So Mechanic B is just kind of looking around, and he's giving both Gal and Dash a look like, is this normal, right? Like you guys are just gonna okay. And he just kind of sits down and watches you set up your little camping thing. B5, you guys are at the shed with Mechanic A.
All right, yeah, let's open it up.
Alrighty, we'll have him do a quick mechanics roll for you. You are over half, so this is going to be a hard roll for him. And we'll put in his mechanics value, and let's see how he does. So he opens up the shed. He's grabbing this tool and that tool, and the wrenches are falling down. And he turns around to you, and he's like, touches here, touches there, kind of zaps here, and you take a step back immediately. He's not fixing anything, B5.
Okay, I'm gonna gingerly take his trembling
wrist. It's okay. Calm down.
But,
he just,
yeah.
His hands are shaking.
Okay.
Is there a hyperdrive thermal regulator in your supply shed?
Shakes his head. No.
Well, this guy's useless.
I'm gonna go over to the other mechanic who is waiting patiently for his tea. I'm gonna put my arm around him and kind of console him just a little bit, and where we could get a hyperdrive thermal regulator around here, buddy. We might be able to get you another cup of tea.
Yeah. I mean, the junk shop might have one. I guess that's one place to look.
I'm gonna pat him on the back and walk over to Gal and just motion over to note to head to the junk shop soon.
All right. Sound like a plan.
I'm just gonna use one of the repair patches on myself for now.
Okay, great. So go ahead and drop your inventory so that you're short a patch, and go ahead and heal yourself 4. So that should put you now at, what, 5 of 12, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Zaish, tea is brewed. Our mechanic A is sitting there patiently next to Dash. Feeling a little bit more comfortable now. Dash, you did a very good job making him feel a little better. B5, you've walked away from the shed at this point. The mechanic B has just kind of turned his back and is like trying to put stuff away in the shed and kind of stuffing things in there and closing the door. The front door is still closed where you guys saw Trex leave. So you guys are still sealed, and I don't mean sealed like trapped, but there are no doors open to the outside of the spaceport.
Just as I'm pouring out, well, this is a Quonset candy from my hometown, or home planet, I suppose is the better vernacular for that. How much do thermal regulators usually cost? Just out of interest, because I don't know if we have a great amount of money.
Well, I mean, if you go to Vorn's shop, I don't know. I mean, okay, what's today? Tuesday. He gets shipments on Mondays. I mean, I would probably 8,000, 9,000 credits.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Oh my.
He starts sipping the tea. He actually gives you kind of that, oh, nice tea, like the Pulp Fiction, nice coffee nod.
Hopefully it's not poisonous to humans.
We'll find out.
Be pretty bad if the doctor didn't know that.
Bioluminescent.
All right, guys. So we've got
Is there
now
anything
we've got
here
to
worth trading.
for the oh boy. I can't think of anything that's nothing here. Maybe something on the ship. I don't know.
I believe the ship was pretty ransacked.
Perhaps they went as thorough as we thought.
They were very focused on the drugs. There might be something else in there.
Worth a shot checking out. I'm going to motion over and start walking towards the ship.
Okay. All right. What we'll do is it just gonna be you, Dash, that's doing a search, or is someone gonna help you?
Gal will help.
I go to.
Okay, great. So what we'll do, let's find out who's got the best perception.
I doubt that's me.
1 and 1.
1 and 3.
Yeah.
All right. So my guess is probably gonna be Gal. So what we'll do is we'll have Gal. We'll have Gal look, and we'll give it 2 boost die from the other 2 gentlemen going through as well. This is going to be a hard difficulty, so 3 purple. I'm ready for when you are.
Okay.
All right.
So 4 successes, 2 advantages. That is a phenomenal roll. I mean,
Right, before we do the results,
go ahead.
I just want to look into the compartment in the hyperdrive with Dash.
Are there any parts in there that we don't need?
Should I roll a mechanics check to check that out?
No, you can just answer them.
No. I just wanted to sneak that in there.
I know.
Okay. So, here's what I can tell you, Gal. With that many successes and 2 advantages, you find 8,000 credits worth of something. I want to know what it is.
An entire packet of spice rolled under the fridge, or the equivalent of the fridge.
Here's what I imagine is, you're kind of going through and you're searching. You've gone through the entire cargo bay, right? Nothing whatsoever. So you're at crew quarters. Boom! You guys hit the crew quarters. Gal, you're flipping, looking. Nothing worth anything. Some dirty pictures. You then go into the kitchen. You go into the kitchen and you're at this point just exhausted, and you open up the fridge, and there, just in pristine form, is a sealed container of spice. You open it up, it's got about 8,000 credits worth of death sticks.
You're welcome.
Any idea where to peddle that there, Gal?
Hopefully our scrap trader would be willing to, trade.
It's worth a shot. I'm gonna kind of pull my suspenders and walk away proudly at our accomplishment.
All right, so you guys have got now. Not only are you on the run from Bargos the Hutt, who controls the town, who's obviously got at least one set of Gamorrean guards looking for you, which you ran across and disposed of. You now are carrying illicit drugs in a town that does have Imperial presence. You are now in a ship that doesn't belong to you. Things are going well, right?
We're leaving.
So I'd like to know. I'd like to know the game plan.
Just head to a scrap dealer and try to trade drugs for the part that we need.
Are the mechanics still outside the ship?
Yeah, they have both are now sitting next to the little campfire stove that Joe set out there. Just both nervously kind of just sipping tea. You can tell that they're trying to be still, like invisible still. Like they're hoping if no sharp movements, the robot doesn't hurt them.
The one that B5 grabbed, I put a blanket around because they might be in shock.
Do we need to find them while we leave?
Binding's an option. I was thinking more so buying their confidence in us. Let's see if we can get the front door key at least. And I'm gonna look at Gal and say, "Do you think you can work some magic and get the code?"
Oh yes. All right, Gal's
Gal,
going
what are we
to
doing?
saunter over to the two men, and he's going to pop out that bottle of alcohol he stole from the cantina and just offer it to him. And actually, he'll crack it open, take a swig himself just so it's not poison, and then offer them the entire bottle. The best the cantina had, that's what I specified, so.
Yep.
And was like, "Sorry about this, gentlemen. A bit of a kerfuffle I had with Trex. You don't need to worry about it. Now, we're going to need to come back here. Would you pretty please tell us the code to get back in?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 8008.
I love it.
On a calculator if you turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Dash,
You don't
can
need
you go
to turn
check
it
that real
upside down
quick?
at that point.
Dash is gonna run over to the door and plug in the lovely 8008 number, and see what happens.
The main door opens right up to the streets, to the stairs leading up to the streets.
Thank you.
All right. Before we leave, I turn to the mechanics.
Keep an eye on the ship for us.
They both nod.
Also, since you have been incredibly helpful, I wondered if I might pose one extra little bit. Do you happen to have any spare fatigues? Kind of gesturing at what they're wearing.
Oh, like this?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we got the closet. Then he points over to another door that's on the side of the spaceport.
Oh, I was I was hoping we were going to have to make one of them give Zaish his jumpsuit.
As I get up and start walking over, I'm just like, since there are Gamorrean guards, we might as well at least, disguises are a thing? Is that a thing that people do? I think that's a thing that people do.
Grab one for me.
Got it.
So say you open up the closet. There's a whole rack of about 15, one of all different sizes. So you have no trouble coming up with 4 that'll fit the 4 of you.
Am I actually gonna wear one?
I don't know.
Disguises. Look, this is the equivalent of dressing as a stormtrooper. 100%. There's no way this could go wrong.
I'll just wear a hard hat if there's one in there.
Okay, you grab one of the hard hats and you put it on your head, B5. So you, the 4 of you are now suited up. Three jumpsuits and a hard hat.
I'm also gonna wrap my head just like the eyes are picking out with my scarf
to hide your Rhodianness.
Hide being Rhodian.
Yep. All right. So you guys, are we stepping out at this point?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that Gamorrean guard is gone. So you guys come out the front here, and our junk shop is over there. So it's a bit of a walk. As you step out, once again, just like the last time when you walked out of the cantina, just the Tatooine air hits you dry. It's hot. Overalls probably seemed like a really good idea until you stepped outside, and immediately the sweat starts pouring down your skin. You look on the streets themselves. It seems relatively the same way you left it. So there is some activity, but it wouldn't necessarily be super busy. More importantly, there's no sign of Imperial presence nor Gamorreans. Want to get an idea of what it looks like as we head over. Anything I need to do? Or anything you guys want to do before we start heading over?
Excuse me.
Let's just keep to side streets if we can.
Yeah.
Move quickly, but not run.
Okay, so you guys are out on the streets. You're able to navigate through a couple close calls where you're having to catch a Gamorrean here or a Stormtrooper there. Not a whole lot of difficulty getting out of anybody's way. You guys come to the main door of the junk shop. At the top it says Vorn's Junk and Curios up above the top of the junk shop itself.
I'm gonna kind of put my hand on Gal's back and kind of walk side by side with him and say, "Let's peddle some spice."
All right, so Gal, you taking everybody in?
Yeah.
Yes, I will lead the party into the junk shop.
Beautiful, and I all 4 are headed in.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess.
Okay.
I was debating if somebody should stay outside and keep watch. But,
Yeah. I'll Zaish will just stay outside.
Okay.
Especially now learning that we have found spice to trade.
So Zaish, you stay outside. The other 3 of you head on in, and as soon as you walk in, there's not a whole lot of space. As you walk in front of you, you can see a counter. Obviously, some sort of service counter itself. Behind it is a large number of shelves with just metal pieces of everything filling the shelves itself. Dash, you recognize some of the items. To your left, stacks of just different broken parts of this, broken pieces of that, stacks to the right of you, and you can see a large door to the right behind the counter itself that is open, though you can't see far into it. It obviously is leading to a large area behind it. There's nobody currently present in the shop itself, at least from where you are.
by just looking around, would Dash see a hyperdrive thermal regulator?
Yo, you got so good at remembering the name. I'm proud of you.
You say it enough times.
It took me once.
So Dash,
Off the top.
you kind of look around, and obviously anything of value he's not keeping at the front of the shop.
Okay.
So you do a quick scan over, and not only do you not see a hyperdrive thermal regulator, you don't see anything that would really be even worth grabbing and taking out of the shop at this point.
Is there a bell on the counter?
There is not a bell.
The gal's going to
We
shout.
require assistance.
Settle.
So,
I like
here's-
it.
Here's the image. Gal kind of goes like this, and all of a sudden, booming voice comes from B5. Gal just kind of jumps. Yeah, give me a minute. You hear a voice come from the back. Come through the door. Large human. Easily 6'3", 6'4", and not only large in height, but just large. And it's hard to tell whether he's just heavy and how much of it's muscle, how much of it is fat. Just a large man. Huge beard coming down. He's got a bandana wrapped around his head. Grease covering both hands up to about the elbows. What are you looking for?
Morning, buddy. How's it going? Hey, we're looking for thermal drive hyper compensator.
Hyperdrive thermal regulator. As I cut in.
Wow. Okay, give me just a second. So he hops to the back, comes back out, and he's got a rag, and he's cleaning his hands off, and he goes, "Gentlemen, I am happy to get you one of those. Take care of you in a second. I've got two. One needs a little bit of love. I can give you that for maybe, I don't know, 10, 11,000 credits. I've got another one in perfect shape. I'm thinking 18,000 credits that no work needs to be done. You guys can just take it. I got them both ready."
Why don't you bring out the one that needs a little love?
Happy to. Be right back. Camera cuts to outside, and we see Zaish doing everything he can to hide any speckle of flesh on his body as he's kind of wrapped around in the overalls itself. You see off to the far right, you see 3 stormtroopers turn the corner, and they're starting to work their way down the street itself, and you see them having conversations as they go. So a couple of different vendors, anybody that happens to walk by them, you see them stopping them and having conversations too far away for you to pick up on it. But they seem very involved on what's happening, and they seem to be going piece by piece, working their way down the street. At this point, you probably have maybe 4 minutes before they get to the door of the junk shop.
You did cut out, so is that Gamorregato stormtroopers or,
they are
or anything?
Yep, they're stormtroopers, and they are having a conversation with everybody as they're working their way down the street. So they're not just walking; they're obviously discussing something along the way. And at the pace they're working, they're maybe 4 minutes tops from reaching the door of the junk shop.
Okay. So we'll spend those 4 minutes trying to invent a lie.
Okay, so the camera
So we'll
cuts
see
back.
how that goes.
Yeah, all right, let's cut back into the junk shop. Vorn comes out and has the grease on his hands, but you see he's kind of straightened out his shirt a little bit. You guys can hear me?
Still stuck.
Okay, let me know when I'm back.
You're
There we
good.
go.
All right, so Vorn comes back in, and not only has he cleaned all the grease off his hands and everything, but you see he's kind of straightened his shirt out and kind of buttoned it up a little bit. He drops a box in front of Dash and pops it open, and you look inside, and I mean, in theory, it's a thermal regulator for a hyperdrive, but it's obviously seen better days. Here you go. Just needs a little love.
Would I be able to do a mechanics or some sort of check to kind of get a better idea of the